Good day, all. This is Charles with the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, America's #1 dispatcher and freight broker training. Um, Today, I want to talk about our new Exodus mentorship program that we are getting ready to launch in July. Um, and it's for 3 different disciplines in logistics. Starting out, this is a prelude to the Exodus University. And this is also for those individuals who either don't want to take our ongoing training, 90-day ongoing training, or cannot afford the price points or not eligible for the Affirm payment options. So we're offering a mentorship program now. And what is a mentor? Someone who's an experienced and trusted advisor. So in my experience, I've been given a level of trust by my students, and I have experience in dispatching, freight brokering, trucking, and other disciplines. Um, we're going to offer our mentorship program starting in July. So we have here, if you see on the screen right here on our homepage, if you go over to the mentorship program, we have dispatcher mentorship, freight broker mentorship, and trucking mentorship. And if you click the buttons below, right here, according to what this says here, click the button below of the type of mentorship that you want to take. So the first one will be dispatching. Click the dispatch button, and you'll come to the dispatch mentorship page and what it entails. So it's $79 a month, and that's for however long you want to take it until canceled. It's valid until you cancel it. Um, Dispatch mentorship, tailored for those interested in dispatching. This mentorship provides insights into the dispatching process, load management, and carrier relations. So we're trying to get an influx of enrollees to sign up before July, but if you sign up after July, the dates are on the calendar, so you'll be able to see when we're having the Zoom virtual mentorship program. So what's included in the dispatcher mentorship? Well, we will help you and advise you on how to set up your business, basic business setup, EIN, LLC, business name, what's involved in that, what's the order of that, how that's done. Document management. What is document management? What we mean here is what are the type of documents that you need as a dispatching service in order for you to correctly contract with the truck drivers, the owner operators, the motor carriers. Okay. And then carrier acquisition. Well, how do you get a truck? How do you get a truck driver, I should say, to want you to be their dispatcher? What are some things you say? What are the ways you do it? What are the methods you do it? Right. Load board mastery. Well, once you have a truck driver, owner operator, carrier, how do you find them loads? Well, one of the first methods for new dispatching services would be to look to the load boards, which is the spot market loads that brokers post on the load boards. Okay. And then you find a load according to your carrier's profile or what they require of you. Okay. Um, and then the brokered load process. So after you look on the load board for a brokered load, a spot market load, you will have a conversation with the person who posted that load. Typically, that's a freight broker. Sometimes shippers put them out there, but in most cases, 90% of the time, it's a freight broker who posts the load from their customer that they need moved by an authorized motor carrier. The authorized motor carrier is the person that you will be working with to dispatch for. Okay. And then what's also included in our mentor, we'll network you with different people that can help you in your dispatching journey, other dispatching companies that are successful that can kind of put you onto the learning curve, and then much, much more materials, things of that nature. So that's a $79 a month value. And then our mentorship programs will be held via Zoom every first and third week of each month, starting in July on the Mondays, right? So Mondays are the days that we chosen. The first and third week on the Mondays, first and third week are for dispatching, and that'll be from 6 to 8. And here's the calendar to kind of show that. I've actually circled the date. and given the Zoom login credentials, which is pretty much the same as we have for our ongoing trainings. So that's the dispatcher piece of our mentorship program. Because a lot of people have been asking me, do you mentor? Do you mentor? Do you mentor? I haven't had the time yet, but now I've gotten a little bit of time, so I will give put aside some time for dispatching. Next, we have freight brokering. Click the freight brokering, and we have the freight broker mentorship program. And that's $99 a month. This program focuses on equipping individuals with the skills and knowledge necessary to become successful freight brokers. Well, what is a freight broker? Someone who arranges for the transportation of the freight, right? They procure the freight from the customer or the shipper, and they use authorized motor carriers with whom they have vetted to transport that freight from shipper to receiver. What's included in our freight broker mentorship started in July. Um, Again, basic business setup. How do you set up your company, your business? Um, that and which includes the name, the EIN, LLC, and how to apply for a broker authority. Going to the FMCSA's website, filling out the OP1 form, uh, finding the right bond that meets your requirements and your credit, the agent of process, which is the BOC3 form, and the UCR filing as well. So the minimum requirements to become a freight broker and what are the costs involved in that. Uh, Document management also. So documents on this side, from a broker's perspective, the documents include the documents you'll need to contract with your customer, your shipper, and then the documents you need to contract with your motor carrier that you're going to onboard and approve. So we talk about the different packet types for the shipper packet as it relates to a broker, and then the packet types for the carrier as it relates to the broker. Okay. Then we get into customer or shipper acquisition. How do you get a customer? What are the steps there? What do you say? How do you um, bid or rate or quote a lane for a shipper? And that terminology and verbiage will be explained during the mentorship. We'll break it down and show you examples and things of that nature. So, okay. Once you get the customer, there's a concept of a TMS system and a load board mastery because as a broker, you'll need a TMS system. TMS stands for Transportation Management System or Management Software. It's a database, if you will. You're keeping track of all your customers, all your carriers, your documents, invoices. Everything is in one centralized location for you to keep track of as a broker and to streamline your workflow and your processes. Okay. The load board is where you post your loads or you look for empty trucks or you do comparisons of other lanes so that you can put bids and quotes in and add in your margin. So we talk about all of those things in that mentorship process there. Okay. And then next is tendered load process. So what this means is once you win a quote, let's say you quote a shipper correctly and they want to work with you, they're going to tender freight to you. They're going to give you the loads to move, tendered load. So what is that process? How do you put it into your TMS system? How do you build the load? How do you find a truck? What are the steps involved in that? How do you create the rate confirmation? And then how do you build the shipper after the carrier has delivered and turned in their POD or proof of delivery? And all steps in between. That is mentorship. Okay. And then also we do networking here. We network with you with like-minded brokers. We talk to shippers, documentation, tools, resources, and much, much more. So, okay. The mentorship programs, again, will be held via Zoom every first and third weeks of each month, starting in the month of July. And if you see the calendar, the Zoom days for the broker mentorship are Thursdays. They were Mondays for the dispatchers. They're Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the freight broker. And they're on the calendar here and the same Zoom login. Okay. And then finally, we have trucking. mentorship because we have experience a little bit in there as well. So our trucking mentorship, $99 a month, and it focuses on the trucking aspect of logistics. This mentorship provides knowledge of fleet management, regulations, and the trucking industry's operational aspects. So if you are going to consider being a trucking company, you have to run your trucking company like a business, from keeping track of paperwork, from operations, from hiring, from compliance, all those different things. So we have resources and individuals that can assist you with that through the mentoring process and make connections and networking there. So what does it include? Basic business setup again, as everything else is. Set up your trucking company, your business name, LLC, EIN, and then applying for your motor carrier authority. Just like you applied for your broker authority on the freight broker side, you have to do the same thing and actually the same form, the OP1 form on the FMCSA's website under the registration piece. You will select as a type of authority instead of the broker authority, you will select the motor carrier authority. Okay. We talk about equipment types. Like if you're going to run a trucking company, what type of equipment are you going to have? What type of trucks and trailers are you going to have? And that could be based off the area of the country you may be in or the areas you like to run loads in can kind of help you decide what type of truck to get. And then purchasing trucks, what are your requirements for that? What type of trucks, the year, make, and model, the engine type, whether it's Cummins, Detroit, Allison transmission, all those different things that are spoken about when you decide to get your equipment. And then, of course, getting your authority. We just mentioned that on the website, fmcsa.dot.com or .gov / registration. Compliance, everything that has to do with compliance, drug and alcohol consortium, DOT physicals, anything that's compliance related, because as a trucking company, you have to still comply with safety regulations of the FMCSA, which is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and DOT. Those are the governing bodies that's required to keep trucking companies in compliance. Document management, of course, all your paperwork that's involved. Billing and invoicing. Who are you going to bill or who are you going to invoice? Or if you use factoring, who are they going to bill and invoice? Customer contracts. So as a trucking company, typically it'll be easier for you to make your money targeting direct shippers, direct customers. But if you can't, then we will go with the brokered loads option as well. Or you may get a customer on a line haul and then use brokered loads as a backhaul. So that'll still have your equipment. You'll maximize your equipment for those miles. Okay. TMS system and load board masteries, you will need this knowledge as well as a trucking company. You can run a TMS system for your trucking company, which keeps track of the data. You can do load boards for your trucking company, which you will list your truck as being empty and available and your location. Tendered load process. This applies with the shipper side. If you get customer contracts, they will tender freight directly to you because sometimes shippers and customers deal directly with the trucking companies. Not only do they tender loads to brokers, but they tender them to also direct trucking companies if they do not want to work with the brokers. And then I neglected to mention, but if you are working with brokered loads, then you will work with a rate confirmation instead of a load tender. So you'll have a rate confirmation with the brokers, and then you'll have a load tender with the customers, the shippers. And then, of course, we will network with other like-minded trucking companies, those who are successful, so they can put you on to the learning curve, what to expect, and then what to avoid. Okay, so that's the mentoring there. And again, once again, mentor training programs will be held via Zoom every first and third weeks of each month, starting in July. And we only have one for this month of July coming up because it's on a Saturday. So Saturdays are the trucking mentorship days. So Mondays are dispatching, Thursdays are freight brokering, and Saturdays are trucking mentorship courses via Zoom, virtual from 6 to 8. So the only one is the 19th for July. Okay. And in August, I'm sure there'll be two in August. We'll just have to see. And then, of course, the same Zoom credentials to log in. So, okay. These are the three. This is the website and the link And the Exodus Logistics Learning Center, ELLC, offers mentorship programs as part of its comprehensive training services. We have now introduced it because a lot of people have been asking about it, so we are bringing it up. Of course, you can read this for yourself. Mentorship programs offered by ELLC, when they are, what days they are. It's just basically repeats what I'm just saying, what I just said earlier. So, and if you want to have continued access to the trainings month to month, you just maintain your subscription. $99 a month or $79 a month to maintain it, right? And then, of course, we have additional services too. You can read down here and connect with, click these links, one-on-one consultations. We have ebooks, self-paced learning, referral programs. Okay. So that is it for here. We're introducing this to you, and this video will be in this location where this video is seen right now. But once again, introducing the Exodus Mentorship Program. We are going to be a mentor. We're going to be an experienced and trusted advisor for you, either in the dispatching discipline of logistics and transportation, the freight broker discipline in logistics and transportation, or the trucking discipline in logistics and transportation. And again, as I mentioned when I first started the video, this is a prelude or a preview to the up and coming concept of the Exodus University. So we're going to mentor you guys first, so you'll be versed in these three disciplines. So when Exodus University comes, you'll be more informed and understand how to navigate the university. Okay. So thank you. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Hopefully you guys will enroll and get signed up early before July starts, so you'll get in and get started and become successful. All righty. Thank you.